A woman rescued from a cave in East County after spending 16 hours pinned between boulders.
A popular Forest Ranch restaurant closed after several customers get sick. Details coming up.
This week marks 20 years since the deadly and devastating Cedar Fire. I sit down with former CBS 8 anchor Barbara Lee Edwards, who spent hour after hour on air during the tragedy.
When the cost of feeding animals breaks your budget, you cut out the middleman and grow your own.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now. A woman is safe tonight after being stuck for 16 hours in a dangerous cave in East County. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. These are incredible images, and it's enough to make you squirm if you're claustrophobic. CBS 8's Brian White is live tonight to explain how the woman got into that mess and the team effort to get her out. Brian.
The woman got stuck in a very narrow opening. Now, to give you an idea, we moved some cabinets around back here behind the studio so you can see just how small this opening really was. If you could imagine being stuck in a crevice this small for hours on end.
It's this really tight, like rock wall on either side, and if you're wearing a helmet, you can't even turn your head to the other side.
This 29-year-old woman was crossing a very narrow opening in a cave Saturday with friends when she got stuck. They called 911, and that's when the sheriff's department called on a cave rescue team from San Bernardino to help out.
Our patient was still in pretty good health and spirits, and we were able to warm her up with some heat packs and getting her jacket on her.
David Angel is a member of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Cave and Technical Rescue Team. After a 2-hour hike and 30 minutes traversing into the cave, they arrived on scene.
Caves are cold and wet, and on the surface it was 80 degrees and beautiful and sunny. Underground it was more like 50 degrees, and we were concerned about the patient's welfare in terms of hypothermia.
This happened in an area known as Thunder Canyon Cave off McCain Valley Road, north of the rural community of Boulevard.
I'm gonna go squiggling down this cave here.
This YouTube video posted 8 months ago shows you the area, mainly comprised of piled up boulders. As you can see, cavers squeeze through tight openings just to get into the cave. And once inside, there's a lot of rappelling to do.
There are several more tight passages where you're squirming along kind of like this, and your pack doesn't fit on your back. You got to pull it behind you.
After several attempts, they were able to raise her up, but the challenge didn't end there. Getting her out of the cave was no easy task.
There's a waterfall in the cave, and so we had to raise her 50 feet up the waterfall and then go through several more constrictions and then over another constriction.
By 9 a.m. Sunday morning, the rescue was complete. All said and done, she spent 16 hours pinned between those boulders.
To give you an idea, she was pinned between two boulders this small here with a gap that small. And according to locals there in Boulevard, they weren't surprised at all that this happened because that cave is known as a dangerous one.
That is just crazy, Brian. We're so glad that she's okay and that she was able to be rescued. Do we know how much this rescue effort will cost taxpayers, or even who's responsible for paying the bill? There are a lot of resources assigned to that rescue.
Yeah, both San Diego and San Bernardino County Sheriff's Departments tell me this woman is not going to be billed for the rescue. And as far as that personnel that came down from up north, the extra personnel from San Bernardino there, that's all part of their mutual aid agreement. So no extra cost to San Diego there either.
All right, well, we are glad she's okay, and hopefully people who like to do that extracurricular fun activity will take note that that is not a place that you want to get stuck in. Thanks so much, Brian. The San Diego County Board of Supervisors tackled gun control and homelessness during today's meeting. Supervisors Tara Lawson-Remer pushed for Governor Newsom's 28th Amendment proposal, which would raise the minimum age to purchase a weapon from 18 to 21. However, supervisors failed to advance support for the proposal, with members divided 2-2. Meanwhile, the board voted 4-0 in favor of drafting an unsafe camping ordinance in an effort to curb homeless encampments. This is not a done deal just yet. They will meet again for a second reading at a later date.
The county health department is issuing a warning after 13 cases of E. coli were traced to Miguel's Cocina in Forest Ranch. Tonight, the restaurant is closed as an investigation continues. CBS 8's Shannon Handy joins us live from Forest Ranch with details, including what we know about the victims. Shannon.
Well, Carlo, I can tell you there's a lot of disappointed customers showing up for dinner tonight only to see the restaurant is closed. The owner told me today he closed this location voluntarily, and there's no word yet on when they'll reopen. As for those victims, they range in ages from 6 to 87, and we've learned more than half of them had symptoms so severe they had to be hospitalized. People planning to have lunch at Miguel's Cocina in Forest Ranch today were instead met with this sign posted outside letting them know the restaurant is closed.
Hopefully everything gets fixed soon and everything's fine because we really like it here.
The closure comes on the same day the county's Health and Human Services Agency announced an outbreak of 13 confirmed or probable cases of Shiga toxin-producing E. coli, also known as S-Tech, all linked to dining at Miguel's. Victims range from age 6 to 87. They reported eating at Miguel's between October 6th and October 18th and had symptoms from October 13th to October 19th. A total of 7 people were hospitalized, 4 of them children, including one who developed a more severe complication of the infection called hemolytic uremic syndrome.
Not everybody gets really sick with this. You might just have a little bit of diarrhea and abdominal pain. The more significant symptoms are if you find blood in your stool, if you have severe stomach cramps, if you're not able to keep down fluids.
Alice Pong is a pediatric infectious disease physician at Rady Children's Hospital. She says they can easily determine if someone has S-Tech by doing molecular tests on stool samples. But determining how someone got sick is a bit more complicated. While S-Tech is often associated with undercooked cow meat, other items such as raw produce, fruit, and unpasteurized milk can also be contaminated and make people sick.
It's fairly common in cow intestines, and so it can be mixed up in anything that's contaminated by cow intestine.
County health inspectors visited Miguel's yesterday, but so far, no major risk factors for foodborne illness were identified. Still, the president of Brigantine Restaurant Group, which owns Miguel's, tells CBS 8 they voluntarily closed and that the restaurant is undergoing a deep cleaning. In addition, all ingredients known to harbor E. coli are being thrown out, adding, quote, "We take this incident very seriously because the safety of our food and the well-being of our guests is our highest priority. We offer our sincerest sympathies to those who have been affected, and we pray for their full recovery." Now, we did hear from a woman who says her son's 14-year-old stepbrother is the one who had that severe complication. She says he is in the ICU at Rady Children's Hospital and is currently on dialysis. Meanwhile, county leaders say if you have eaten here recently and you are still showing symptoms that could be linked to E. coli, go get checked because that could help with this investigation. Back to you.
Wow, serious complications there. Thanks so much, Shannon. A shakeup tonight for the Padres, who are now looking for a new manager for next season.
According to The Athletic, Padres manager Bob Melvin is going to the San Francisco Giants. He's replacing Gabe Kapler, who was fired toward the end of the season. During Melvin's first year with the Padres, the team advanced to the National League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years. We're going to have much more on a team announcement and what's next coming up later tonight in sports. And still ahead right now, we hear from one of the hostages just freed by Hamas.
Plus, we are marking 20 years since the Cedar Fire. Former CBS 8 anchor Barbara Lee Edwards shares her memories of the devastation as it grew while we were live on the air.
We had a lot of sunshine in our forecast for today. Our temperatures were slightly warmer from yesterday, but we're starting to see those changes in the form of cloud cover, and we could be looking at some wet weather. Details ahead.
And up next, some disturbing findings in an economic equity report for San Diego County. 2 guests from the San Diego Foundation are here to break it down for us.